It's time to relive great moments with former Cowboys.
Eddie, something one of the all-time great.
You know, that's one of the great things in having the opportunity to coach here at Oklahoma State was the fact that you had such great people.
It's time for Where Are They Now on Triple Play Sports Radio.
John Farrell, former Cowboy pitcher back in the early 80s.
And, mostly putting up with me, I guess, after, chasing everybody around, chasing us around the country.
Where Are They Now? Our weekly talk with former Oklahoma State athletic coaches, players, and personnel.
Desmond Mason, former All-American player here at Oklahoma State.
So today, that's what I spend most of my days doing. For the most part is, in the studio trying to paint and trying to create, and I enjoy doing that.
It's like catching up with an old friend every Wednesday.
Boy, do I feel old today, as I always do on a Wednesday when we bring back some of these former athletes. We're talking with Houston.
Sure did. Had a great time. That was of course, my mom and dad went to school there. My brother, Dickie, as you mentioned, went to school there. And, of course, we both met our wives right there in Stillwater, Oklahoma.
Now your host, ready to take a stroll down memory lane, here is Tom Dirato.
Well, thank you very much, and welcome once again to Where Are They Now? And, yeah, we're going to take it up to the nation's capital, or thereabouts, close to it. And we're going to talk with, as we've been talking here in the last hour or so, former Cowboy standout pitcher and also Stillwater Pioneer standout, a name that really doesn't need any introduction, but I'm going to do it anyway, Teel. Carson Teel, member of the Nationals organization now, the Potomac Nationals. And other than wet, how are things going up there for you?
Hey, man, thanks for having me. Things are good up here, man. They're, the weather's been great other than the last couple of days, but thank goodness we're on an all-star break. But, things have been fun. We're playing some good ball lately, and we're ready to kick off the second half with some wins.
I talked to you the other day about this, and to some extent, Cobb had this going when he was in Brooklyn. But, just being physically close to the big club, you're not that far, what'd you say, 35, 45 minutes away from where the Nationals play. That's got to be a little bit of motivation that, hey, it's just down the road a bit.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, we went yesterday to D.C. to go check it out, just to, go see some sights. And it's one of those things that you realize you're right around the corner. You're a couple stops away from being in the show, and you just got to take care of business. And every day you get to the yard and you put in your work, and results or whatever happens, but if you're making progress, that's all that matters, and having fun with it. That's what I'm doing. I'm looking forward to challenges ahead, and I'm hopefully going to end up there one day. But if I don't, I'm making the most of the situation every single day.
Before we get into how things are going on the major league level or the MLB level, I want to take you back to your college days here, and ironically, I didn't plan it this way, but I had Cobb, I think, last week, and you now. But you two were kind of rarities, if you will, at this time of the year, because both of you guys turned down the MLB in your junior season to come back to Oklahoma State as a senior. And both of you improved your draft stock that next year. That's a rarity in itself.
Yeah. It's a crazy deal. A lot of times that doesn't end up happening. But Trey and I got lucky. We had each other to lean upon and, talk to every day about pitching as well. And we had some guys, on the team that we'd come to, and, we just challenged ourselves. We wanted to be the best one on the staff every single day. And if Trey was doing something, that was making him better, I wanted to top him. So that was the best part about being at Oklahoma State, was the fact that we had constant competition, but we were also supporting each other every day. If he was doing it right, I applauded him for it, but I just wanted to be that much better than him, and he would do the same to me.
You guys have, other than the injuries, and hopefully you don't get on this path, but you kind of travel similar paths in that you're making up for lost time in a hurry. Now, again, Cobb is out for the year with the arm surgery, so he's got to wait to get back into tow. But what's it been like for you? I mean, this is your first full year, but to turn around and be in advanced A, I mean, that's got to be encouraging, I would think, right?
Man, it's incredible. It's very encouraging. I started out, you go into spring training just hoping to break camp. That's the biggest thing. You want to break camp. You want to be a part of a roster and start your year off right. And I got to Hagerstown, and I threw the ball pretty well through my first 4 outings, and I was like, man, if I throw like this by the end of the year, I could end up in Potomac, be able to move up a level in the first full season. And, some things happen, and I got the opportunity to set myself up to go up a level, and I got here, and I'm like, man, now if I throw well and things happen, in our favor, we could end up in AA by the end of the year, and that would be, a huge accomplishment, considering it's the first full season. But, yeah, I'm definitely blessed with it, but I'm trying to make the most of it every day and just keep on getting better.
Before we go back to what's happening now, I have one more question about that draft thing. You had the counsel of a lot of people, coaches, but certainly your family, and it was Boston, as I went back and checked, your junior year that you said no to, said you were going to come back for your senior year at Oklahoma State. What went into that decision? The reason I'm bringing that out here is every year, this time of year, we got 6, 7, 8 guys, off the team that are considering, should I stay, should I go, how much am I going to get, all those things that go into a decision. What went into yours?
I would think, I was really close to being done with school. That was a big factor. I wanted to get my degree. And just, one more year of being a part of that family, something I grew up wanting to be a part of. Obviously, being right down the road, listening to you, listening to Hunziker all the time. I wanted to be a part of some OSU athletics. And now I got the chance. I really didn't want to cut it short by 2 years possibly, So I come back and just try and get I try and do the most, become, somebody they can look up to on the field, but also be that figure off the field in Stillwater that, people could look up to. And I got a lot of friends that I want to be around, and I got the chance to, be around a lot of young kids, and Jimmy V's foundation that he has there, Keeper of the Game, we got to be a part of that last year. So there was a lot of things that I just wanted to be a part of, and really just wanted to, give back, the most I could, because, Oklahoma State gave a lot to me.
Speaking of Jimmy V, we're going to have him on tomorrow afternoon to talk about the foundation as well, and on top of everything else, what he can and can't say about recruiting. But
yeah,
that kind of goes with the turnover in college baseball. What was the reaction when you? I don't know how to phrase this. I don't know why I'm searching for words. I don't need to do that with you. Was there any kind of fear that if I tell Boston no, then it's going to get around next year? No matter how good I am, I have no. You've heard that. You've got no leverage as a senior, and they're going to just throw you into the 30s, mid 30s, and draft you there. Was there any of that went on in your head that might have swayed you a bit?
There was some of that worried me. But at the end of the day, I talked to some people, and they understood, my decision. And I went out and had a good year for myself and set myself up for it. That was the question, was if we take you early, are you going to be able to go? And I told them, I was like, yeah, I'm going to be able to go. This is the year that I kind of wanted to go in the first place. So I think the time was now, and they understood that. And I was lucky to get picked when I got picked the next year. So it was awesome.
It's all about numbers, all about timing, and when you get into your level, and you never know. Some guys toil forever and never make a move because the traffic in front of them is too dense. Then there are others who fall into a good spot and are doing well, and all of a sudden your name comes up on the board and they give you a call. We got to hope that's going to be the future for Carson Teel. But schematically, X and O-wise, do you feel like you're making those improvements?
Yeah, we've put in a lot of work this year. A lot of the things, numbers-based, spin rate, all that type of stuff, and the numbers are up from last year. And that could be with fatigue at the end of the year last year, but coming into this year, numbers are up. A lot of things. My body feels right. I've gained some weight, which, is saying a lot considering I've always been a small dude, but I'm feeling good. My stuff feels good. Having a good time. I'm open to do just about anything these guys want me to do, and so far it's worked out. So, going to keep working, keep going.
You threw 87 innings your last year here, which is a lot of innings, and you never complained. We threw you out there when we needed to have you out there. but obviously the arm could take so much. And then you went into pro ball. Now, and the reason I'm bringing that up, you made the comment maybe there was a little fatigue at the end of the short season last year.
Yeah, I think that's the deal. That's what coming out of college, most of the time, if you throw a lot, you don't go play summer ball. So about 87, 90 innings is the limit. Go into Auburn short season last year, and I think I threw probably around 30 or 40 if I had to guess. And so by the end of that, my arm was dead. But coming into this year, you work out all off season to prepare yourself to throw more than you normally do. And so right now, I mean, I feel great. Obviously, the amount of innings isn't up there like it was in college, but we've also, I'm in a different role now, and so the appearances are going to be higher. I think I've set myself up for in a good spot right now. So
tell me what's different about your game now than it was when you were here. If I went out there and watched you for Potomac tonight, if you were playing, what would I see from the stands and say, man, he's got more velocity, he's got this, he's got a different pitch? What's different?
I think I got a little extra kick to the fastball right now, a little bit extra life on it. We're working on the 2-seam right now, but the 4-seam is jumping on guys. We're getting a crazy amount of strikeouts. There have been multiple times we've thrown 2 innings stance and got 5 strikeouts. And it's just kind of jumping on some guys, and the changeup is just been my go-to pitch lately. I've used that since high school, and so that's something I've had a really good feel for. The slider's coming around, man. It's something that I didn't have in college too much, just because it's something we were always working on. But getting a feel for it now, and it's helping me out a lot. But the thing that stays the same is the confidence and the swagger, and just going out there thinking that I'm the best on the field when I'm on the mound. And if I take that with me every time, I think that I'll have a shot. I
noticed a couple of starts, I think, but primarily you're coming out of the pen. So I mean that's probably what we're talking about here. Any difference in your mindset, even though you did both here? Do you like the role you're in?
Yeah, I really like coming out of the bullpen. I was talking to some of my buddies today. If whatever they need me to do, I'll do it, just like at Oklahoma State. As long as I'm getting to play, that's the most important thing, and they're trusting me to go out there and do some of those things. And so I think the mindset's the same. I really like coming out of the bullpen, going in there and shutting everything down. Your goal is to go in there and, not let the starting pitcher's run score if he came out of the game with runners on, or if you have a lead, to hold it there to get it to your closer, or even if you're down 1, if you can hold the lead to 1 or hold the deficit to 1 or 2, you're doing your job. You're giving the team a chance to come back. So that's the thing. Is I think I like that situation. Having guys rely on me is something I like. When all their faith is in me to get it done, I think that's when I come out the best.
So you're more than just a situational lefty kind of guy. I mean, they leave you in there for a couple innings. What's the longest you've gone at one time?
The longest out of the pen I've gone is 3 innings. Most of the time I'll go anywhere from 1 to 3. Mm-hmm. Had a couple starts where I went 5 innings, and then now in the second half I'll be back in the bullpen. So 1 to 3 innings is pretty much it. Depends on what our starter does.
Well, take me back to the discussion, or was there one? I mean, we make a lot of dramatic conclusions, and more times than not, it's just, here's what you're going to do, here's what we want you to do, let's go do it. But when they said, for all intents and purposes, you're not starting anymore, you're coming out of the pen, when did that take place?
That took place the day, our last game before the break, so about 3 days ago. They told me, they're like, you did what we asked you to do. They couldn't, I went out there and did my job. I gave our team the best shot. They're like, we just want to move you back to the pen. I think we got somebody coming up here, and they're going to be starting, and I'm going to be back in the pen. It wasn't a demotion by any means. They said it was just what's best for me, and something that I can thrive in. So I'm all about it. I'm looking forward to it.
mindset's different, but you've always had a great mind anyway, and you're a competitor, so I could see you adapting to anything. We talked about this yesterday too as well. You're in an area, I would think, that gets a lot of rehab. You may get some big timers, some big leaguers come down to play a game or two just to see if they're ready. That means that you probably in the Carolina League might go against some major leaguers rehabbing. Is that kind of a thrill there?
Yeah, that's fun. I didn't get the opportunity to pitch against. There's a rehab guy who came down from Boston. I can't remember. He was a guy who was new to the league, so he was pretty fresh. But he came down to rehab, and that was fun. A lot of those guys end up going to the short season team, like the Mets guys go to their short season team just because it's right around the corner. But for us, we've had Trey Turner here. We've had Sip here to throw an inning. We've had Justin Miller come here to throw some innings. So we get all sorts of guys coming through here, and it's pretty fun to meet those guys and kind of pick at their brain a little bit here and there. So you hope those guys don't ever get hurt, but when they do get hurt, you kind of have to make the most of it. You want to pick their brain. So it's a good time to see those guys.
In general, are they pretty good guys? They kind of embrace the fact that you guys are down there. You've run across maybe each other in a spring training or whatever, but are they pretty good dudes, or do you have some who just kind of come and go and never say anything?
Yeah, they're pretty good dudes, man. When they come down here, a lot of times the big leaguers, they buy us a spread for a post-game meal, and they'll give us some food and help us out any way they can. And, they're just one of us. At the end of the day, they've been through it. They've gone through the system just like we're doing right now, and it'd be crazy for them to be a jerk or something like that to us when we're trying to get up there just like they were. So they're good dudes.
You're kind of like Cobb. Cobb's big takeaway, I think, when Syndergaard went down there is that he took them all out to eat, I think, one night.
That's right, man. Food's big right now. Food is big.
And paid the whole tab for about 10 guys or so. But I guess when you got that payroll, you can do that for guys.
That's right.
Let's kind of transition here a little bit back to Oklahoma State. This is the time of year that's exciting for college kids. The College World Series is going on right now. Two teams are gone, Auburn and Arkansas, and maybe Mississippi State's gone by the time we get off the air here. But, boy, you can remember your time. That is the epitome, isn't it, of a college career to get to Omaha.
Man, that is something. We got a couple guys here, Frankie Bartow and Hayden Howard, that were in Omaha the year that, I was there. And we got a couple other guys that went to Omaha, and it's fun to kind of, just talk amongst the group and let everybody know that, during our college career we did it and kind of pick at the guys who didn't do it. But it was something, man. That experience was something that I'll never forget. Being on top of the college world there for a little while. We came up a little short, but those memories will last forever, and that's something I'll never forget.
I think that's, we have this discussion a lot on this show here when we talk baseball, and there's no question. I mean, in my mind, you can give or take an argument here or there, but college baseball is basically the farm club for Major League Baseball. I know high school kids that disagree, and scouts might disagree with international players, but for the most part, Major League Baseball gets a lot of the college kids. How much better were you that you in a program like this when you first got to Major League Baseball on your level than you were, say, had you gone to a smaller school?
Man, it was just seeing, some of the guys you play against or some of the guys you have on your team, the experience level playing in a high-level D1 school is it's up there, man. You learn some things. You've been through the lows. You've gone through the highs. You've experienced a lot. So come pro ball, you have a great mindset going into it. You kind of know situational-wise what pitches to throw, what this team's going to do, if they're going to bunt, if they're not going to bunt. You just have a lot of stuff in your mind that coming out of high school I didn't have. I didn't know what was going on and what was happening. So going and being with Josh and Rob and Jimmy V, those guys taught me everything, and a lot of credit to them for being here. But growing up, we just learned the game of baseball. A good friend, Todd Craybill, he taught us how to play the game of baseball correct back in the day. So a lot of credit to him. And so they taught us how to compete, and even in high school, Tony Holt, those guys taught us how to compete. But it was awesome going to college and learning a lot of things. I think it helped me out a whole lot.
Now, you're in your own business, but I guess occasionally you cast an eye toward what Oklahoma State is doing during the season. It was an elevator season. We were all over the place this year.
Oh, man.
And a lot of highs and a couple of painful lows. But how much were you able to follow it other than scores and maybe on the computer or whatever?
I followed it quite a bit. Once regional and Big 12 tournament, once that stuff came around, I turned it on the TV in the clubhouse every chance I had. And, same with softball. I turned on softball every day that we had an opportunity just to be able to watch. But, man, they played well. If you go back and look, probably up until that Texas Tech series where we got swept at their place, things were looking pretty gloom for the boys. And, they came out swinging after that, won 12 out of the last 14, and just took off. And, I thought they were the team that was going to do it. I thought they were going to make a serious run, and they kind of lucked into a bad situation. And, that's the rest is history. But, I talked to those guys a lot. I was proud of those guys, Josh, and all the coaching staff, how proud I was of them. And that team made a lot of memories, and they did a lot of good things for the community throughout some of those guys' career there. So it was a definite success for that team in my mind, and I can't wait to see what they start doing in the future.
Pro baseball is really not that big a world, and I don't know yet whether you've been able to run across any former Cowboys. You probably will the longer you stay in and the longer you climb. And that's always a interesting get-together, I imagine, when a former Cowboy's in the other dugout.
Yeah, no doubt. We actually have a lot of buddies that are around here. I played Heasley in low A. I played Matt Kroon in low A, and then I have a teammate from OU, Jake Irvin. We played a lot of his buddies. So even then, I'd talk some trash to them just about Oklahoma State. At the end of the day, it's all a game. You're just going out there having fun and messing with guys. And business is business, but like I said, it's a game. So we just try to make the most out of the situation and have the most fun we can. And at the end of the day, whatever happens, happens. So as long as we're putting in our work and trying to get better on a daily basis, the rest take care of itself.
Last thing, did you do your off-season training here in Stillwater? Did you come back home?
I did. I was in Stillwater the whole time. Went and played basketball up at the gym. Ran around with Matt Holliday and those guys. Got to see Coach Boynton. Him and I have developed a pretty good relationship, and so being able to watch those guys has been great. So that's where I am, or that's where I was, and that's where I will be this off season, I would imagine. Well,
I've got to ask you this because, while you were here, I bet you drove by Old Brate Stadium at least once.
I did.
And what are you thinking when you go by there other than, why weren't you able to do this when I was here? However, you're going to be able to enjoy a part of that stadium when they finally have it all put together.
That's correct. Yeah, driving by, I'm like, it's a bitter feeling. Like you said, why in the world has it not been built when I was here? All that type of stuff. But at the end of the day, I said it when they started to build it was that's going to be the biggest recruiting tool in America. This program has had so many highs. It's one of the top programs in the country historically, and adding a stadium like that to this program is going to be absolutely massive. And having the locker room for us to come back and kind of work out there and be around those guys, I think is going to help them out in other ways. I think they're going to be able to learn some lessons from us, and just being able to learn how to be professional but have fun at the same time is going to be huge. And I'm looking forward to being a part of it, but I'm also looking forward to going to watch games there and see how we succeed.
I wonder how many of your former teammates that you've talked to are going to avail themselves of that opportunity. I don't think you're going to move into the locker room, but when you're here, you'll have an area that you can call your own, and you can train during the off season. I mean, that's big right there, and I think you hit the nail on the head, Carson, when you talked about you can also bring to the team that's here a little bit of extra because you've been on a different level.
That's one of the things is you always want to give back. And I know I will. I know some other guys will. And, if they're open to listen, we're open to help them out. And so I know Josh and Rob and Jimmy V are going to give us that opportunity, so we just have to go make the most of it. But I hope guys come back, man. We're going to have an awesome facility there to work at. And, if they need to live with me, they can come live with me. And I can sleep on a couch or I can sleep upstairs, do whatever, man. But we need all those guys back in Stillwater, back home where they belong, and help out the program the best we can.
This would be a better question for way down the line. I'm hoping way down the line when you retire from Major League Baseball. That'd be a good question then, all those years later. But do you have a mental timetable as to something's got to happen by X year, or I'm going to have to decide, one thing or another? And that's a tough question because you don't know how things going to change one way or the other, landscape-wise. You get traded, who's in the program, whatever. But mentally, do you have one of those, or are you too early in the game to think about that?
I think mentally and everything we have a clock. I think in college you have a clock as if you don't do anything, you need to transfer at this point or stuff like that. But I got a clock. It's just if you get stuck somewhere and aren't really doing anything and haven't really heard a lot, and you don't feel like you're a priority anymore, and you're content with your career, I think, then you can be able to hang it up. But, I told somebody a while ago, the second I stop loving this game is the second I quit. And so that probably won't happen because I like playing this game. And I love making memories with these guys out here, just being around, this great atmosphere in the clubhouse. So, but, I think I have a timetable, but it's nothing crazy.
Well, it's always great to catch up with you. Lots to revisit about because we hadn't talked to you in a while. But it seems like you're on a good track. And best of luck. Stay healthy. Get in there. Keep getting those guys out. And who knows? Next time we talk, we talk at a different location, a little higher level. And then who knows what happens after that. But I know a lot of fans appreciated you coming on today because you still have a lot of fans back here in Stillwater. The Carson Teel name is still pretty big here.
Hey, I hope it stays big off the field too. I want to do nothing but help out the community and just be a person that people can think about and smile about and talk about the memories that we made together in stadiums and then off the field as well. But I hope the next time you talk to me, I'm a little higher up. That'd be nice.
Hey, we will follow you for sure and keep everybody posted. But I appreciate your time on an off day. But there was good time to kind of visit up, and you let me know when there's something going on. You got my number. Give me a shout, and we'll get it on for you.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for having me. It's always a pleasure to be on your show, man.
All right. Good luck to you the rest of the way.
Thanks, Diddy. Appreciate it.
All right, bud. That is Carson Teel, one of the good guys, and a guy that this community certainly should be and really could say they are proud of.